This is literally the end of the world. Right there. So you want to know the best thing about living in this area? Welcome to Rosilli, boys and girls. This is the magical place on the Goa Peninsula, which is, well, it's almost bang on an hour and a half right away. And this is my annual pilgrimage here. I never really come here, to be honest, because it's literally almost an out and back. And it's kind of boring, but during the summer, this place is heaving. Even during the winter, I see a couple of people walking down the path towards Worm's Head, which is that thing out there. If you can see it. It's called Worm's Head because it's, I guess, kind of the shape of a worm. You can only get out there in low tide. Today's obviously very high tide, and I was hoping it would be as well because it's even more spectacular, and with the wind the way it is, it's even nicer. So the last 4 weeks I've averaged around just over 18 hours. I did my 13-hour week, my 16-hour week, and then my 24-hour week. And I did a 13-hour week last week again. This week I'm doing a little bit more because next week I'm going to London. I'm going to meet up with a very special guy who I'm sure you're all familiar with, especially if you watch the Zwift live streams, and that is Bike Racing Without Mercy. At least that's the name of the YouTube channel. Phil's his name, and he's been bouncing messages back and forth with me for a while, and he wants to start a project which I'm really excited about. And we're gonna talk to you more about that when I go to London next week. Phil's got some big targets this year, and I'm hoping to tag along or play a role, or he's gonna try and play a role in my targets as well. Again, we'll come into that at a later date because it's still very early days. It is only the 2nd of January, but it's gonna be like, at the minute we've got a really good friendship. We both enjoy the same things, and that's cycling. He's coming to cycling quite late as well. He's really enjoying it, completely addicted to it, loves Zwift racing, especially the hilly climbs. And you know, we've got a lot of things in common in that respect. So you'll see a lot more Phil, a lot more of his content, as I'm trying to help him a little bit as well. So for me, the next month is looking a little bit more concrete now. So we have to go to the London next week. Then the following week we're going to the Cotswolds, to the Cycling Time Trials Champions Night dinner. I have to wear a black tie suit for that. So, well, it's, yeah, that formal wear. Yeah, so I'm gonna be like proper dapper. So yeah, it's gonna be starting a pretty busy period. I've been sitting on my computer for a while, getting really deep into coaching at the minute, and it's obviously something that I've really enjoyed seeing other people do well. But I'm also really deep into my own training as well, because I've got my first target coming up in the end of March, 31st of March. We head out to Mallorca. I'm going to do the Sacalobra climb, or at least give it a good shot. March is always an iffy one though, because you never know, like you can be going really well, but in March, just because like you're coming out of the winter, your body's not quite right. It's not the same as doing hard efforts, all these 20-minute efforts in July or August. Your body responds differently to it, so we give it a go. But at least it gives me and my training some focus heading into March. I've got some really big news regarding a possible ambassador role that I can't say yet. Story of my life. But I can definitely say that we probably be going to Calpe in March as well, with these said sponsors through our ambassador program. So I'm very much kind of excited for, you know, at least the beginning of the year, which, you know, over the past, I guess, couple of years, I've not had that. You know, nothing's really got off the ground until April or May, so it's nice to have something different and new like that. And related to that, you know, I've got, well, I posted a video on Instagram yesterday or the day before. A couple of people saying that I'm looking in mighty good shape for January the 1st. And it's more to do with the fact that I've got quite a few goals, quite a few targets, personal targets, but they're spread out, you know, throughout the year, so it's not, they're not quite, I can't quite be as relaxed as I may want to be at this time of the year. I've still got to almost be within a couple of weeks of good shape, you know. And if the weight is the hardest thing, you probably find that yourselves, but so long as your weight is near or near enough good, then you only have to worry about the training. And it takes longer to kind of get that weight down to your ideal weight. You know, you've got to do it properly. You can't just drop it really quickly. As opposed to training. In training, you can be methodical and take your time with it. And you know, so long as you're a few weeks away, as long as you're near enough to it, you can be good enough. Does that make any sense whatsoever? You get a gold start. Jeez. The cold has got to me.